Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to take a look at all 7 games that were published by CBS Electronics for the Atari 2600.
From CBS Electronics,
Can I drive now?
where the excitement never ends.
I did not have any of these games when I was growing up, but I have played many of them throughout the years. Majority of the games that were published by CBS Electronics were arcade ports, but there are 2 original games that are pretty freaking sweet. Let's go ahead and get started and rank the 7 games released by CBS Electronics on the Atari 2600. Our first game here is Blueprint. This is based on an arcade game that I have never played. It has music, which is cool, but it wears out its welcome pretty quickly as it repeats over and over and over. Graphically, it's fine, with everything being recognizable more or less. I'm just gonna say I just don't find this gameplay that compelling. This is really just a memory game when it comes down to it, and my memory frickin' sucks. I do not have the best memory. You have to find the pieces of this giant weapon that are placed in these different houses, and you just have to try to pay attention and see where the parts went, because you have to put them together in order. If you go into the wrong house, you get a bomb. You've got to rush down to this pit to get rid of the bomb. There's an enemy that can kill you. It's just a memory game. You've just got to put together the pieces of the weapon in order. And then when you're done, you go to this second screen where you shoot the big weapon. And that's the other part that really brings this game down for me, is the fact that the using the giant weapon at the end is just underwhelming. It's just not very fun. It's kind of anticlimactic. It's just not for me. As you go along, you have to collect more pieces, which is more to remember, and it hurts my brain. It's not a bad game. I'm really curious to actually go back and play the arcade game to see how that compares to this port, but it's just not really for me. If you like memory games, this might be for you. With all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and give Blueprint a C. The next game is Gorf. Gorf is another arcade game that I've never played, but I have heard a lot about this over the years. How it takes a couple other popular arcade games and kind of, pieces together clones of those games, along with original ideas, which is a really cool idea. I've heard the arcade game is actually really sweet, and I need to actually go check it out. And something about Gorf is that anytime I hear the name, it makes me think of Dorf, like Dorf on Golf, and that always makes me smile. And as you can see here, the first level is a Space Invaders clone. And honestly, it's not the best Space Invaders clone. I mean, I would way rather play Space Invaders than this level and Gorf, but it's not bad. It's fun. I mean, it is really cool that there are several different styles of play, but that doesn't keep me from wanting to play other similar games instead of Gorf. Like, all of these gameplay elements that are put together in this version of Gorf on the 2600 just makes me want to play other games. Really, they're not bad. It's just it reminds me of other games that I'd rather be playing. Something that is cool about this game is that there is a boss at the end, and I always love seeing old early video game bosses. I always think that's cool to see old game bosses, because there wasn't a lot of that back in the early days. Gorf is no bad game by any stretch of the imagination. I actually did have a lot of fun with it. It's just something was lacking, and I can't quite put my finger on it. I think if they would have included some game variations, that might have bumped up my rating a little bit more. But as it stands, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give Gorf a B. Our next game is called Mountain King. Mountain King is one of 3 CBS electronic cartridges that have what they call on the packaging RAM Plus, which I guess is an additional 256 bytes of RAM in the cartridges. Now, I've played this many times over the years because I always thought it looked cool. I always liked the animation and stuff, but I never understood how to play it until I was researching for this video. I didn't think I would like this at first. I really didn't. I was ready to, I don't know, give this a low score. Like, I had a hard time seeing this catch me. But pretty quickly, as I did learn to play, it grew on me. Yeah, it just grew on me fast. It has really creative use of music. The way that, like, you know how you're getting close to the flame or whatever, depends on how loud the music is and that you hear music. That's really cool and innovative thinking for the 2600 days. And the music that is included here is freaking awesome. Listen to this.
When you're playing Mountain King, music is everything. Cause if you hear this melody, it could mean victory. Grab 1,000 diamonds as you go climbing. Jump and be a winner or be a spider's dinner. Now look for the spirit, music says you're near it. Find it with your flashlight, but don't you get uptight. Cause the skull, grab the crown. Now you hear this music sound. Play the bass the music brings, you'll be the Mountain King.
It's always cool when a 2600 game has multiple objectives. It just, feels like an adventure. And there's not a whole lot of that on the 2600. There are some awesome examples, but it's always cool for me to find more that give me that sense of adventure in a VCS game. This game just feels very epic for its, pretty humble graphics here. The controls do hold it back a little. It took me a long time to get even somewhat comfortable with jumping and going where I want to go and being able to tell if I can make a jump. But I did acclimate for the most part to it, or at least got to the point where it wasn't like horribly frustrating. Even with the setbacks of the controls, I fell in love with this game. I did. This game, seriously, has become one of my favorite 2600 games. I am, with no doubt in my heart, going to give Mountain King an S. This game is freaking sweet. Up next, we have Omega Race, which is another one of the RAM Plus cartridges. This one is neat because it came with a special booster grip that converted the Atari joystick into a 2-button controller, which is pretty neat because when I first started loading this up, I couldn't figure out how to do what I needed to do because, I'm not used to having 2 buttons on the 2600. So it was very cool to have that functionality. And here we go, of course, another port of an arcade game that I've never played. And I understand that the arcade game was a vector graphics game, but the graphics here are nothing to write home about. Nothing special. They're not horrible, but just nothing special here. Again, it's very cool to have 2-button controls on a 2600 game, and it's definitely fun for a few minutes here and there. But I can't say I imagine that I'll be coming back to this as often as other space shooters on the system. But I would say it is above average. I'm going to give Omega Race a B. Solar Fox is the next game, and this is, yet again, say it with me, another arcade game that I have not played. I do want to point out that this is one of my favorite things I've ever seen on Wikipedia. Reception. The reception of the game was probably good, as there was an Atari port. Citation needed. What would we do without you, Wikipedia? What would we do without you? I love that there is an easier mode in this game that's called quote-unquote parent mode, I thought that was cute. That was fun. And I did play through that. And I think it's a little too easy, but it's kind of fun to, figure out how to move around effectively without a bunch of enemies coming at you. So there is like practical reason to use that feature. This has really fast, fun, and addicting gameplay. I kept wanting to play this over and over again. When I would lose a match or when I would die, I would just keep playing. It's really fun. It's a really good time. It's definitely for me one of those, hard to put down just one more time, just one more time, just one more time games. just one more game, just one more. Something cool about Solar Fox is the fact that it's like an anti-space shooter. You have no way to kill your enemies. You're just avoiding them, and you speed up and slow down depending on how you set to use the button. And I think that's really cool, is that you're playing a game of avoid. It's a lot of fun. I really, really do enjoy playing this one. I'm going to go ahead and give Solar Fox an A. Tunnel Runner, our next game, is the last of the RAM Plus cartridges, and I definitely think you can see the extra RAM Plus happening here. So first off, there's pretty sweet intro music and title screen. This music is freaking awesome. I'm gonna remix this one day, because it's super sweet. And yeah, this is just pretty awesome 3D graphics for the time. It's awkward to get around at first, but I did acclimate, and I got used to traversing the maps. I'll never forget the first time that I saw my father playing Wolfenstein 3D on DOS. Those graphics blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. It's 3D. It's just like real life. I can't even imagine. I think my head would have literally exploded had I seen somebody playing this game on my Atari 2600 when I was really little. It's pretty cool. So, this game is pretty much just walking around this maze, finding keys, finding doors, and avoiding the enemies, which are called Zots, which I think is a pretty cool, awesome name for bad guys in an Atari game, the Zots. And that's it. It just keeps getting harder as you go. And I had a blast. It's cool. There's two modes. There's like a campaign mode or something. I don't know what it's called, but it's the same mazes. The mazes don't change every run. It's the same. And then there's a randomly generated mode where every time you play, it's different randomly generated maps, which is super cool, endless gameplay. It reminds me a little bit of 3 Demon for DOS, which I made a video about years and years and years ago. I can't even bear to watch it. It's probably a horrible review. It was a long time ago. It's kind of similar in a lot of ways, except you're not collecting the dots like you are in 3 Demon. 3 Demon is like more of a straight up like 3-dimensional Pac-Man, which I guess this one is kind of like a 3-dimensional Pac-Man, but even more so 3 Demon. Another game like Mountain King with a smart use of music. When the Zots are around by the music, and I think that's cool. I think the sound design in general is pretty cool. This game's kind of creepy. Again, in doing this ranking list, I have discovered one of my new all-time favorite Atari 2600 games. I could not stop playing this game. I played this game so freaking much, it's not even funny. This is crazy, but yeah, I'm giving Tunnel Runner another S. Yeah, it's awesome. Try it out. And the last game we have to look at today is Wizard of War. Say it with me now. This is another arcade game that I have never played. But I have played this many times over the years on the 2600. It's always a good time. I like this game. It's a great twist on the maze game. The flickering of characters can get tiresome after a while. It kind of like, I don't know, wears in my eyes a little bit. But it's like I said, it's great fun. Once I start playing this one, it's hard to put it down. This is another one of those games where I can't stop playing. I just one more game. It's hard for me to really describe why this one feels so good to me, but the gameplay just sort of clicks. I don't know how to explain it. I love playing this game. If you've never played Wizard of War and you're into 2600 games, definitely check it out. If you're into maze games, you're looking for something a little more action-oriented, definitely check this out. Eventually, I will be making a video where I compare all of the arcade games to their 2600 versions, and I'm really excited to check out to see what the arcade version of this game was like. I'm going to give Wizard of War an A. And there we go. All 7 games published by CBS Electronics for the Atari 2600. Let me know what you think of my ranking. Let me know where you disagree, where I'm wrong. Let me know what your ranking is. Did you grow up with any of these games? Had you played any of them before? Are there any other ranking videos for publishers for the 2600 that you'd like to see me make? Let me know. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I will see you next time. I'd like to give a special shout out and thank you to our channel members. Thank you Sad Vlad, RetroCart Collector, Viros Vault, Jeremiah Thomas, CoolCat18, Lost in Thought, and Ronan Sid. If you would like special perks such as being shouted out at the end of videos, please check that join button down below.
They think I'm trapped, but I'll escape.
Tunnel Runner, the new video game where you don't look down on the maze. You're in it.
Monster! He's smart, I gotta outsmart him. Oh, he's fast, I gotta be faster.
Tunnel Runner with RAM Plus to megacharge your Atari VCS for 3 times the excitement.
Right, left. Better check them out. It's the exit to another maze.
Tunnel Runner from CBS Electronics, where the excitement never ends.
I'm not trapped. I'm not trapped.